So the Spurs took game 3 in Madison Square Garden, and I'm not gonna lie. Whilst the Spurs had a great game, Wemby had a good game, Stephon Castle had a good game, Dylan Harper had a great one, and De'Aaron Fox, even though he didn't shoot particularly well, still came up big for them in the end. The officiating was borderline insane at points. Granted, I only watched the second half, but from what I did get to see, there were multiple calls by the refs that just killed the momentum of the Knicks. An example that sticks out in my head from last night, when the Knicks were inbounding the ball and they basically made them redo the inbound because the Spurs snuck an extra player onto the floor. And don't get me wrong, I get it, these things happen, but they shouldn't happen at all in the NBA Finals. You're the most senior of senior officials, and you're in the most important games of the season for both teams. To have calls like that, as small as they are, they can mess up the momentum. They can mess up the focus of the players on the floor in that moment. And this isn't me trying to take anything away from the Spurs at all, because the Knicks ultimately didn't really show up. The only people that showed up for them were Brunson and OG Anunoby. Everyone else struggled or came out really slow. The officiating when it came to the grabbing and holding really annoyed me, because it felt like anytime this stuff had happened for the Knicks, whether it was a drive to the basket or one of their players was being held or tangled up, they wouldn't get a call. But anytime it happened to the Spurs, it felt like they got a lot more of those calls. I will grant you, some of them were probably frustration fouls from the Knicks and just things they should know not to do as a franchise and an organization that's the more experienced team in that scenario. But it annoys me with the officiating because playoff basketball is meant to be intense, but it still needs a level of consistency. So even if you're going to call everything in the first half, but let the guys play more in the second half, you should be consistent in doing that. Because if you're changing how you call the game possession by possession, it just creates a situation where no team is going to build momentum unless they're the team benefiting unfairly. It's a very uneven balance of momentum and takes away from the game.